clarification on the difference between that 60 and the 250 that's in this other document?
Sure.
Chair, Commissioner Young, the 250, I was addressing other issues like the structural integrity of the improvements out there, appraised value of the land, et cetera, our legal costs.
Further.
If you keep
after
going,
this.
if you keep going, there's money going out the door.
Thank you.
I remember getting a very pleasant email from one of the gentlemen of Crown Hydro a couple days ago. Thanks for your consideration and the presentation tomorrow night. I didn't respond to it because Crown Hydro wasn't on our agenda tomorrow night. I am here today and in depth discussing what is probably one of the hottest topics for at least this quarter of the year, a topic that has been hot since 1994. Not only am I discussing it, I'm ending up taking an action on it. And on an item that at the very least the gentleman from Crown Hydro knew was coming our way a couple days ago. People are calling me about this. People are talking about this. It's intense pressure about it. And on something like this, I would like in the future, the minute we know that this is coming on an agenda for the board, something of this magnitude is coming on the agenda for a board that the board has not been notified of, that we should send out some kind of email that says, just so you know, there's a big one on Wednesday night that you're not aware of.
Was it January 18th? We had our study session. We had given a direction to staff to come back with a proposal. There seemed to be some discrepancy over whether it was come back with a proposal that would have like a 30-day window to do an analysis of the project. Staff understood it as, well, I guess we got 30 days to come back with a proposal. So there was a mix-up there. Now, I talked to staff on Saturday because it wasn't on the agenda, and I said, you know, why isn't it on the agenda? It's supposed to be on the agenda for for February 21st. And they said, well, you know, we thought we had 30 days. Well, the meeting was January 18th. That's when we gave the direction. 30 days would be February 21st. So that's why it wasn't on the agenda. It was a staff oversight, one that they should not have made because they were reminded February 5th, I believe, by myself, that it would be on today's agenda. The folks at Crown Hydro also were not aware. They just didn't see it on the agenda either. So it was myself that called on Saturday and said this is supposed to be on the agenda Wednesday the 21st. It will be on the agenda, so make the amendments and do the correct things. And yes, they should have, at the very least, sent out an email and made an amendment public. So
when I'm looking at something that's 60,000 but really 20,000, I don't have a contract of what we're really asking, whether they can do that. So I mean, it's kind of pay as you go. And then our president just said that we would also be charging Crown Hydro for our staff to look at a proposal. I would like to discuss that, whether that's, you know, something every developer comes to us, you know, we charge them to talk to us. I mean, is that something we're going to do? I mean, and what are the parameters of that? This is obviously a special case that's very large, very problematic, and merits this kind of attention. But I would like to see how this fits into our overall scheme of what we're doing with developers and what we're getting for these actual dollars.
Thank you. Commissioner Merrill Anderson.
I am going to not support this motion, and the reason I'm not going to support the motion is because I have some concerns, not about necessarily the project pro or con. This is not a pro or con on the project, but it's a pro or con on the process. I think you are correct. This is an issue that has been a critical issue for this board for over 20 years. And I think that even though it was supposed to be on the agenda, it didn't come on the agenda. We weren't notified for it to come up kind of as unfinished business at this meeting. I think really doesn't give us the time that we need to really look at this issue. I think the other issue, and I really feel strongly about this, if you want an independent opinion, you have to pay for it. And when you allow someone else to pay for that, at least there is the appearance, or there can be the appearance, that perhaps this isn't quite as independent as it could be. So I know we don't want to spend money, and I agree with John. There's a lot of things I want us to spend money on for our children and for other resources in the park system. But one of our responsibilities beyond providing programs for the people in the city of Minneapolis is to preserve and protect parkland. And I think we have to be able to do that as independently as possible.
The other question I have is, who wrote this motion? Is this the staff?
Came from our office.
You wrote this motion. Who asked you to write it?
I had requested some help with the motion
Okay.
to protect us legally so that couldn't be construed that we were entering into an agreement with Crown Hydro to move forward with the project, since we were trying to hire a consultant to verify information.
Okay. You know, I just remind this board that this proposal was voted down by this board, I don't know how many years ago, but, you know, it's been reoccurring. President Olson, there were two items on the agenda today, one being the waive that were not on the regular agenda, that were placed there at the last minute. The other one being this Crown Hydro one. I think we need to be a little more organized with regard to last-minute items coming on board. Not that I don't want to address the issue. You know, I've addressed it before in my own mind. I don't see a heck of a lot of change. Annie, I didn't ask that I didn't state that we own the falls. I stated that the profits gained on electricity, if we're going to enter this, it should not be $50,000. It should be half of what the Crown Hydro takes in.
When you're notified by someone, you know, that this is going to be in the agenda and you have no idea, it's a little bit disconcerting. And I think in the future, we've got to make it real clear that everybody gets notified, whether it's by phone or email or something, that something is coming up rather quickly, because I think we need that advance notice.
I definitely recall what went on at that meeting, that we did agree that it should come up in a month and that we did not want to spend the money. And I believe that Crown Hydro agreed that they would pay for it. So this is like not fast. It is just right on time, as was determined at that meeting.
Is it some number that we don't know?
I'll turn my microphone on. Sorry, Diane. It's a number that is to be determined, because we don't know. It might be $10,000, it might be $30,000. I mean,
Is it effective tonight, or is it effective for costs that we've incurred up?
it's effective tonight, this agreement,
So it's costs starting tonight?
yes. The meter's running over there.
No, it's not. We haven't voted yet.
No, I'm talking about the, prior to the agreement, the meter's running, so.
Roll call vote. Thank you, Commissioner Dietzick. Mr. Secretary.
Commissioner Dietzick. Commissioner Fine. Commissioner Kemmer.
Aye.
Commissioner Merrill Anderson.
No?
Commissioner Nordstrom.
Aye.
Commissioner Nordyke.
Aye.
Commissioner Breland.
Pass.
Commissioner Young.
No.
President Olson.
Pass.
You can count.
Commissioner Breland.
Yes.
President Olson.
Aye.
6 ayes, 3 nays.
The motion passes. Have a moment of silence after that long discussion.